Hey everybody, Nick the Record Lover here. It is Friday night. It is May 9th, 2025. It's great to be here on this kind of rainy night. Hopefully everybody's doing well. And in honor of Mental Health Month, which is in this month of May, I'd like to, hey, Alley Cat, how are you? She is our first guest tonight. Hey, Allie, you guys had a good run in the playoffs this year. I'm glad you guys were able to make it anyway. And Rangers got a new coach, Mike Sullivan. Yeah, I know. Glad you made it at all. Yeah, I guess I'd like to know. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Sully. Can't make things happen overnight, but we'll see. In honor, like I said before, in honor of Mental Health Month, I'd like to ask all my friends out there tonight, what is the album? I want to, involve all of you tonight. Of course, everybody every week. But my question to you is, what album or albums or songs make you feel great? That always put you in a good place. That makes you feel you can accomplish anything, or what music or songs inspire you to do things that you like to do. That's what my question is tonight. And I'm going to talk about some cool records here too. But yes, you do. You absolutely you can involve new music. That's perfect. Of course you can. It doesn't have to be any specific kind of music. Everybody's different, and music is a universal language. So that's any type of music, any kind of music. What puts you in a good mood? What makes you feel great? What makes you see the sunshine, even if it's a cloudy day outside. If sometimes we're all on up to par on any given day, but music is to me, music has been a friend for life, and it's always going to be a friend for life. So, whatever you guys got, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I really would. The first two One Direction albums were my favorites when I was a teen. Made me feel amazing and excited. Or Levels by Avicii is a hell of a hype song. Oh, great. Okay. Okay. That's good. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful, Ali. That's great. Yeah, music can put you in such a great mood. I mean, today I was listening in the car. Well, actually, at work today, I was listening. I listened to it the other day on my CD player in the car, and then today on my headphones at work, I was listening to an album called. Oh, you have a playlist for specifically this kind of thing. Well, that's great. That's great. It's those albums that just put you there that really make you feel good, and the songs that make you really feel good. You know, it's It's funny that there are a couple songs that I really love that are not even in my collection. I mean, it this is different, but I like "Bittersweet Symphony" by The Verve, which came out a little while ago on the album called Urban Hymns. I think the album is called, and that's one of the songs I liked on it. And I like it. I think it's a good song. I really do. I like the background music actually is a slowed down version of a classical rendition of the Rolling Stones' The Last Time, which came out in 1964. And uh, they were in litigation over that. And I heard someone said this is a ripoff of The Last Time by the Rolling Stones. And I said, I don't hear it at all. I'm like, what are they getting at? And then I read about really what happened. And I said, okay, yeah, I kind of hear it, but I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't listening for it. I'm like, I don't. It wasn't like an obvious. Oh yeah, they picked that up from the Rolling Stones. It's you know not something that I picked up on right away. And then you listen to it and you're like, okay, so what? It's not a big deal. I think that I thought the song was a little weird when I first heard it in like 97, 98, but I think over the years I've had a fondness for that song. Uh, well, for tonight, actually, it's this month, and it was yesterday in 1970 that the Beatles released their final album, "Let It Be," and this is the calendar. This is for the month of May, and this is the album that's in for the month of May. The Beatles' "Let It Be" on Apple Records. It was actually called the Get Back Sessions in 1969. They wanted to get back, so to speak, to just playing live like a band in the studio again without orchestral overdubs or any kind of overdubs like that. And it lasted for a little while, but then they ultimately shelved the project to do the Abbey Road album. Right after the Beatles did the January 30th concert on top of the Apple rooftop, they went back into the studio and just started on Abbey Road. So practically January 31st, 1969, February 1st, they started on Abbey Road. So what eventually came out was the Let It Be album out of those sessions, and actually that was the real last album that was released by the Beatles. But the last one recorded by the Beatles was Abbey Road, and it was released in September in 1969 in England and October in 1969 in the United States. So what I've heard and what I've read is that the Beatles went out like angels with Abbey Road, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. I read that Lennon didn't want the Beatles to go out that way. He wanted them to go out warts and all, and he wanted everybody to hear what the Beatles were like when their guard was down, so to speak. So that's how Let It Be came out. Actually, John Lennon and George Harrison went to Phil Spector and said, try to make an album of what's on these tapes in Abbey Road Studios. And he did. And what I think, over the years, I think it's more of a stronger album. I've gained a lot of respect for it. I never disliked it. It just took me a little bit of time to get used to it. And the album really is full of strong songs. Of course, you got "Let It Be," you got "The Long and Winding Road," um, "Get Back," and here's a copy that I have. It's an original 1970 copy of "Let It Be" on Apple Records from 1970, and the original copy opened up like a gatefold and had some pictures of the Beatles in the studio. And here's what the LP looks like itself. Let It Be on the red Apple label. Now the red Apple label, it was red instead of green because United Artists released the film in 1970, and so they kind of used this as more or less a soundtrack album. So they said that this is our last. So this is our last movie that we had to do under contract. So that's what they did. They made it a red Apple label instead of the standard green. Now in England, the Let It Be album had a little bit more love for it. They had a little bit more love for Let It Be in England. So what they did, I don't have one. They did release it as a box set in England, and the early copies came out as a box set. It came with the record. It came with a booklet that had some dialogue from the film in it, and it was a really nice package. But we just got a watered down version of it, just the songs and a gatefold cover. But they did release in 2020 the Let It Be Deluxe Edition, which I wasn't sure if I was going to get. Yep, there's attention to detail even in the colors on the vinyl. Yeah, there is. Well, that's because it. Well, Ali, the reason why is it was as a red Apple label because it was their last movie that they did, and United Artists and technically not Apple Records, was behind the whole thing. So that's why the Apple label is red. It's usually it's a Granny Smith, but it was always a green Apple label. But this is the re-release that they put out on vinyl and on CD and Blu-ray with a book. And I've listened to the remix of Let It Be, which is in here, and it sounds very nice. It sounds very nice, very clean. The 2009 mix of Let It Be is very good too, and of course the original 1970 album sounds very nice. And I've yet to hear the 5-1 mix of this, and there's also a book inside that I got to get down. I got to get down with. So uh, once I do that, I'm going to definitely mention this again in the future. Now, here is a copy of Let It Be that was released in the 1980s as a reissue on Capitol Records, and it has has the shrink wrap on it. Has the shrink wrap on it. So this is like a 1980s copy, and I got this for about $10. You know, the reissue actually doesn't have a gatefold. It's a single album, and what they did was they put what was inside. They the pictures that were inside they put on the LP sleeve instead of a gatefold cover that they did in 1970, and it came with a very cool poster. This is what came with it. This is the Capitol Records one only. It came with the Let It Be poster. This is for $10 that I bought it. I don't know if this would be $10 today. I mean, and I got it in very good condition. I would say, you know, very good condition. It's not mint. It's very good. No, it would not be $10. No, you're right. I didn't buy this recently either. I actually saw a sealed one of the Capitol label of this for about $27.99 when I went to the record store last week. It was $27.99. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ali, you know, I don't think that. I mean, that's probably you could be right, but a lot of records I have that are collectibles, they're not that uncommon anymore. So I don't think anything would probably clear my debt with this with these records because I mean they are overpriced now. They're very definitely keeping it. Yes, it's not. I think that these records because they're reissues. Oh yeah, there's plenty of Beatle fans that are looking for this stuff. But the Beatles releases are so common they keep reissuing them. So I don't know why that they make like certain albums $500, $600. Oh yeah, because this is the wrong label or this. I understand that there are variations on Beatles and some mistakes that they made on the record labels. But I mean, you know, it's not that important to me to spend three figures on something like that. It's the little collectibles that I always like to get. And when you find something that you really like, that's what's the excuse me. That's the thrill of the hunt. You know that if you find an album that you're looking for and it's got all the goodies inside it, you know that's what's really good about it. That's what's really good. When anybody who's into the record who gets into the record collecting field now, I always say because I meet all different kinds of people at the record stop that I go to, at the record store that I go to down in Quakertown. You know, when I know people that are just starting to collect, I just tell them have fun with the hobby. Don't take it so seriously. I mean, I've bought things over the years. I have a very big collection of stuff. Yeah, it is. It does make it worth more. Of course, it's minute. They actually released the single of the Beatles song "Please Please Me" on the VJ label. This is in the United States before the Beatles even got here. A year before the Beatles got here, they were releasing Beatles songs in the United States that went absolutely nowhere on those early labels like Swan or VJ. Now, there is a copy of Please Please Me on the VJ label with the Beatles, but Beatles being misspelled with two T's. and that one goes for enormous amounts of money. It's crazy. I mean, I don't have that specifically. Um, there were a couple things. There were a couple Beatles albums that I have. I actually have a couple. I have a sealed Rubber Soul Beatles album. I think I showed that before when I was on here, and that was given to me as a gift. So it's a 1970s Apple pressing, but that's okay, no problem. Yeah, collect. Yeah, I mean, do I have everything? Everything? No, but I'm happy with what I do have, and that's what's important. I mean, there's stuff here that I need to listen to. It's not even funny that I've gotten over the years because some of the things that I've gotten were so cheap. There were box sets that I got so cheap. I'm like, these things are not going to be $30 like next year. So I'm just going to pick it up now and get them in my collection. So I just the most important thing is to have fun with the hobby. Any hobby that you have. If you're collecting butterflies, if you're collecting, you know, uh, you know, you collect stamps, bottle caps, anything like that. Just have fun with it. Sometimes when I used to go to record shows, which I don't do anymore, I used to go in with a list of what I wanted. And very rarely did I come out with anything on that list. So the thing is to go in, relax, have a good time, and you'll be surprised. That's it. Instead of going in with something specific, "Oh, I'm looking for this," and then nobody at any table has it, and you're like, "Oh my god, I got to wait till next time," and all that. Just go in and just have fun with it. That's all. I mean, even if you collect sports cards, if you collect, you know, like baseball cards, hockey cards, whatever, just enjoy the hunt. That's what I say. Enjoy the hobby. Just have fun. Don't make it a job. Don't make it something that you think you have to do either. There are times I take breaks, with stuff, and and listening to records. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to write about it too, which is what I also do. But like I said before, with mental health, which is very important. I mean, I was reminded of that today at my job when they sent an email about some classes to take online, um, about mental health in the workplace, mental health in your personal life, mental health with your family. And I thought that was very nice that my job did that. So I just wanted to make it, like, so what everybody in what my friends here like, and what they like to listen to, and you know, I collect various things, but unfortunately, when I get to a certain point, I have to back away because it becomes stressful looking for the last piece or some specific piece, right? Because sometimes it can become stressful like that, Ali, and that's for everybody. Like I said, that's for every hobby. I mean, do you really need to get everything all at once? No, you don't. I mean, one quote that I've always agreed with Oprah Winfrey. Um, well, I never really watched her show, but there was one quote by her that was in Reader's Digest, and I really like the quotes that are in Reader's Digest. She said, "You can have it all. You just can't have it all at once," which is true. I mean, you can't have everything all at one time. But what's everything to one person may not be everything to another person. I mean, that's just I collect trading cards of various topics: Pokemon, Minecraft, hockey, even One Direction ones. But I spent so much just to be sad because I didn't get a specific one. That's no fun. I know, because when you go out looking for something, you get that adrenaline, that natural adrenaline, that you want to go out and get this, and you came home with something else. But that's not necessarily a bad thing that you came home with something else. Not at all. Not at all. But it just only goes to show that if you got everything that day, then you're not saying you want to save the time for down the line, and take a break from it, refresh yourself, and then go back to. I don't go to the record shop every week. You know, I wait like a couple of weeks to go down because then sometimes they get other stuff. Bill, hey, he made it tonight. Hiya, Bill. The One Direction ones came with stickers. Now I have a million stickers of my favorite member. So who is the real winner here? Well, you won. Well, if it's your favorite member, then you did win. Yes, you won. That's right. That's right. But it's not about winning or losing with collecting. To me, it's not. It's about, hey, I got this finally. And it's like, oh my God, and look at the price. You know, uh, when you go down and you find things that, wow, I didn't know, and the prices that I've gotten some things for lately are amazing. I mean, me, I'm always picking up albums just so it is not. Okay, what is not? I am 26 go. Oh, right. Oh, okay. It is not about winning or losing. Sorry. Right. Okay. Yeah, you're 26 going on 13. Well, I'm 55 going on 25. So that's oh boy. But what's so much fun about the hobby is that when I go down there, I meet people. Just music brings people together. That's what I just want to. That's what I want to really put out there. Is that it brings people together. You can have a conversation, and then you're like, you never know what the other person knows. So, I go down there, I see somebody with a Beatles album in their hand. I'm like, good Beatles album. Oh, yeah, it is good. Yeah, are you a Beatles fan? Yeah, how long are you a Beatles fan for? Yeah, et cetera, et cetera. And the fun just keeps happening with that. And that's what puts me in a good mood about it. It's not always so much about just going down and just picking out albums, because sometimes I'll just go down and pick out albums so nobody could get them. But if I want to put them back, then I got to figure out what I'm putting back. That's the thing about collecting is I could have 3 albums in my hand that could total up over $40. And I'm like, I can't spend this much today. So I got to see what I could put aside for next time, or, budget. That the word comes in. You just got to understand what you can do. I type faster than anybody you could keep up with. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. That's it. Oh, Bill, since you just came in, my topic tonight is uh, being that it's mental health, not international, but it's. Hey, Lauren. Hey, good to see you. All right, got some people in here tonight. How you been? Hope everything's going okay with your husband and all, and your family. And I hope you got some great plans for Mother's Day. I hope everybody's got good plans for Mother's Day this year, or every year actually. But the topic here tonight is, being that it's Mental Health Month, the month of May. My topic tonight is, what albums or songs uh, are the ones that really stand out to you, that have made you feel good. Uh, albums, songs. What's one that you can name that really just break, could take you out of a funk, or just make your day better than it is. You have a good day, and it could make it better. Take a sad song and make it better. Like those four guys used to say. Everybody's happy to see everybody. That's nice. Foot stomping music, grand funk. All right, I got something for you, Bill. Well, my big tricks here. I'm in the right box. I don't know if I am. I don't think so. No, it's in here. Um, Christmas stories. Oh my God, where did I go with it? Where is it? This one. Anyway. Let's see. I have it here. Where is it? Did I have it in here? Crazy, right? Let's see. I gotta find it. Well, Bill, what I wanted to show you was Shining On with the 3D glasses. I have that one with the 3D glasses that were not even used. They weren't even. Well, there's my reminder to drink water. Bill, here you go. Grand Funk Railroad on time. Yep. Actually, you know what's cool? Actually, you know what's cool about it? Tunes. It tunes as in song, Lauren. But I mean, it's yeah. Do you have this one, Bill? Because I have this one. I have Survival. I have Shining On with the 3D glasses haven't been pulled out yet. I have Born to Die. I have the red one in white, Grand Funk Railroad. Survival has the original 3 pictures inside. And I have E Pluribus Funk. Do you still have it do you still have it with the glasses inside, or did you use the glasses? Wow, your first album ever. Here's the original album on the green Capitol label, the lime green Capitol label. This is way after a couple of years, a year or so after the Rainbow label got taken off. Your first album was Donnie and Marie. Wow. Donnie and Marie. I used to watch the show religiously with my sister. That was a Friday night. And as kitschy as it looks now, it was a lot of fun to watch back then. Really, it was Donnie and Marie, Sonny and Cher, Captain and Tennille. Used to watch all of those. Same family TV. Yep, that's it. Your little sister drew on the poster. Okay. Yeah, because back then you didn't know it was a collectible back then. That's why. And nobody knew it back then. Nobody did. But I'll tell you something. Here's a few goodies that I picked up. Oh. Now, sometimes, there are times I get surprised at things when I find them. This is Shotgun by Junior Walker and the All Stars. I had no idea this 45 had a picture sleeve for it. I thought it was such a famous song that sometimes they didn't have picture sleeves for songs that were really big hits. But this one, I was like, and the price I got it for was. And here's a reissue of Elvis's Suspicious Minds. And they put Burning Love on the B side because it's a 50th anniversary gold record to celebrate the 50th anniversary series that was released. The original flip side to this was You'll Think of Me, which I also have, but they put Burning Love on the B side of this. Same picture sleeve that came out in 1969, but it's just a different B side. And this is an album that I really like, and I like listening to in the. Oh, Convoy. Oh yeah, I remember Convoy. Yeah, I remember. Yep, I remember Convoy. Yep, remember hearing it in the 70s on the radio. Yep, Convoy. I remember Convoy. Wow. Does anybody remember The Streak by Ray Stevens? My father used to play that a lot when I was a kid. Ray Stevens was amazing. Well, this is an album I like to listen to. That's it's kind of like this is when the don't look Ethel. It's too late. She already was bit. It's already been mooned. She already was mooned. This is an album that was really good. I is really good. I think this is when the Rascals, aka the Young Rascals, went to Columbia Records, and it was only Felix Cavalieri and Dino Danelli, the drummer from the original quartet, and they did an album called Peaceful World, and this came out in 1971, and this is on Columbia. This is when they went more rock, pop, jazz music, and this is a double album, and I really like it, especially the title track, Peaceful World, which is like over 10 minutes. No, actually 21 minutes, I think it is. And I like this one a lot. It's a great it's different when they went to Columbia. They had another album after that called Island of Real. And then that was the last album they did as the Rascals. But I have to tell you that there was the bass player, one of the Buzz Featon was playing with these guys. He was a kid when he played on this album. And who else is on here? Let's see. Yeah, Buzz Featon or Fighton, however you pronounce his last name. Yeah. My dad listened to Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, that's on the album Seven Separate Fools. Yeah, I think that's what that's on. Seven Separate Fools. Yeah. Yeah, Seven Separate Fools was that big album that looked like a deck of cards. And when you opened up the top, there was seven cards of the seven members of the band. Like I said, like it was a box of playing cards. And yeah, Joy to the World, I believe, is on that. But if you have the original single of of Joy to the World, it's different than the album version. There's more music in it, but it's a little bit shorter than the LP version. The LP version is a completely different mix than the single. But I like the Three Dog Night. I got most of their albums. I got Cyan by Three Dog Night. I got Hard Labor. Um, Big I got. Oh, was the greatest hit? No, that's the Grassroots. I don't think I have Three Dog Night's greatest hits. I have the singles that I like Black and White, Joy to the World. I have The Show Must Go On. Well, that's on Hard Labor. I watched the clip. Oh yeah. What did you watch a clip of? Joy to the World was always a great song. Hoyt Axton wrote that song, actually. And, it'd be interesting to hear his demo of that. Greg Ferguson, he was really into deep. Oh, Deep Purple. Okay, yeah. Greg Ferguson, I liked him. I liked him as a late night talk show host. I really liked him because I think he was like one of the natural, like easygoing, like talk show hosts, comedy talk show hosts. Anyway, um, yeah, Deep Purple. I have a couple Deep Purple albums. I have Deep Purple and Rock, and I have another one. I have two of them. Yeah, I don't have Smoke on the Water though. Yeah, he was one of the best, Lauren. You're right. You're right. Yeah, and it was all in good fun what he was doing with the guest stars. Anyway, I could always tell. Watching him. I used to watch him at 12:30 in the morning, and I thought he was very good. I thought he was very good. Man, I watched Johnny Carson in the early times. He was good, but I watched him more for the guests that he had. But in the early days of the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson did skits on that show, and that's what was funnier than just having a talk show later on. Oh. So yeah, like I said, I always like Greg Ferguson. He always had some great guests on, and very interesting guests. He had Gal Gadot on, I believe. Did he have her on? I'm thinking maybe Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel that had her on, Gal Gadot. I think she's a very good actress. I think she's a sweet person too, from what I see of her. Anyway, because she played Wonder Woman and all that, and I think she's a good actress. I haven't seen much of what she's in, but I think she's very good. I think she's a natural, for me with talent. But yeah, Robin Williams on several times, and it's a classic now. Yeah, yeah, Robin Williams was a one of a kind. Uh, it's just a shame that what happened to him. And Mork and Mindy is when I first saw him. I wasn't on. No, I saw it. I saw it when he was on Happy Days first, and then he had Mork and Mindy, and that lasted 4 years, from '78 to '82. And the later episodes, Gary Marshall did shows like Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. They got quickly off topic. Not quickly, but as the years went by, the shows got off topic. I mean, Happy Days was supposed to take place in the 50s and the 60s. And in the later episodes of Happy Days, they looked like they were dressed for the 70s. And like when the TV show was on the air, they were going towards more that period. And I was like, this is supposed to be a 50s and 60s show. When they weren't in front of a live audience, Happy Days in the first season from 74 to 75, that was probably the best season in 75, 76. But then when they started adding characters and all that, it started to get crazy. I'm not a fan of the Mork and Mindy era when Jonathan Winters was on as their son. I thought that was kind of hokey. I didn't like it. Let's put it that way. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I loved Robin and anything he did. Had me in tears when he was on Who's Line. Him and Richard Simmons. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Robin was good. I liked it on Whose Line Is It Anyway when he went, what Robin Williams is thinking right now. And he comes on and says, what the hell am I doing here? I have a career. Yeah, Robin Williams is a character, though. I remember, though, not knowing he was a stand-up, off-color comedian because I knew him as Mork and Mindy, but then Robin Williams had an HBO special right around the same time. And once my sister and I started watching, he started using foul language. We had to take it. We had to take it off. We couldn't watch it. My mother and father were watching it downstairs, and they were hysterical. They were laughing. And it was like, okay, they're laughing at adult humor, So, later on, we all pick up on it eventually. But that back then, it was just like, well, we're not allowed to watch this because it's, you know, yeah, he was a great actor too, though, Ali. Robin Williams. I loved him in Mrs. Doubtfire. I thought he was great in Good Will Hunting. Yeah, I did watch a little bit of Inside the Actors Studio. Yeah, yeah, he was very good. I liked what other movies that he was in. I never. What was the one that he was the teacher? Oh, yeah. I know all these things, and now it's just getting away from me. Dead Poet Society. That's the one I'm thinking of. I never saw the entire thing of Dead Poet Society. I know about the movie, but I did see Good Will Hunting. I saw Mrs. Doubtfire. I saw Insomnia with him and Al Pacino, and I thought that was very good. I thought that was very good. I thought the two of them had good chemistry in that picture. I only saw it in the theater. I never owned it on DVD or anything like that, but I did see it when it came out, and I thought it was very good because I think that he has a lot of He had a lot of promise as an actor. He had a wide range as an actor. Robin Williams. He was great. I just thought he was great. But a couple of things that I found this past weekend besides Shotgun. Okay. Now where's the other one? Ah, yes. Here's a picture sleeve and record for It's Getting Late. It's Getting Late by the Beach Boys. This is from 1985 when they released that self-titled album, The Beach Boys. I got that for my birthday when I was 16. And I have to say, oh, the movie where he made, yep, yeah, 1 Hour Photo. That was the name of the movie, where he has developed photos in a grocery store and he's just very envious of the families that he sees in the pictures. Yeah, I didn't see the entire thing of that. I know about it, but I never did see it. So, but to go back just a second, this is It's Getting Late from the Beach Boys. And I had that, a friend of mine bought me the latest Beach Boys record, the 1985 Beach Boys album. And it was okay. The songs I like really would Get You Back and California Calling. It's Getting Late was on the album too, but I just like it as a single. And then they reissued the B side with It's Okay, which was a song from 1974, 75, 76. And here's a couple of albums which I already own, but I thought they were just such sweet copies that I just had to pick them up and they were very cheap. More Creedence Gold, which came out in 1973. Creedence Clearwater Revival. There they are up in the front, and here's like here's the side of the record that's spinning around. I always think that's, and here's the group on the back cover. And the other one here, Creedence Gold, and it's got like a textured cover. Later copies don't have it like that. And I thought they were just great. Here's the back cover for that one too. Great tracks. I mean, even when you listen, yeah, it is. It is a cool cover. I mean, even when you listen to a regular Creedence Clearwater Revival album like Cosmos Factory or Green River or Willie and the Poor Boys, it's almost like listening to a greatest hits album by Creedence Clearwater Revival because everybody knew all the songs on. It's like anywhere you drop, anywhere you put the needle on a Creedence album, or anywhere you went onto a Creedence CD, no matter where you put it, it was always a good song. Very little filler. There is no filler. I think when it comes to Creedence Clearwater Revival, they've always just been a great band. And for the 5 years that they were here, probably one of the best American rock bands. How many albums? But nearly every album by them went gold, and singles went gold. But here's one that I was very happy to get: Steely Dan Pretzel Logic. Now it has the ABC catalog number, but it also has the MCA Platinum Plus. So this is a reissue. It's not an original 1974 copy. It has the MCA sleeve in it, but it also has an ABC record sleeve in it. And actually, the label looks like this. It's an ABC Records copy, but I looked this up. This is like a 1980 pressing of a 1974 album because this label would be black. It would be black with the ABC on the top, if that's what it was. And it would say ABC Records down here. But I was just happy to get this for a good price anyway, just to hear the record. You know, this is the one that's got Ricky Don't Lose That Number. I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight and visiting me. It's always fun to reach out to you guys. on Friday night. I'm glad I made it. That's aside for now. And one thing I wanted to show. Bill, my friend, I know you're a big, I'm glad I got the notification. Thanks for doing this. Oh, you're welcome, Lauren. Thanks for coming. Bill, I know you're a big Led Zeppelin fan. So here's some Led Zeppelin from my collection. Here's the 4th album. Some people call it Led Zeppelin 4. Some people call it Symbols. Some people call it Zoso. Whatever you want to call it, it's fine. I don't take offense no matter what you call it. So now this one, sometimes you get lucky. I'll tell you. This is a 1971 press. It has manufactured by Atlantic Recording Group, 1841 Broadway, New York, New York. The later copies would have like a Warner Brothers logo at the bottom, but I was able to find this, and here's the original inner sleeve for it. And let's see. Sandy Denny was on this album, and I believe she came. Oh man, what was the name of the group that she was in? I know what it is too. I know what it is that she was in, and I think I got one record by them too. It came out of the sky. Yes, yes. Landed just a little south. The moaning. I used to play that. I used to play that out when I used to do gigs. I used to play It Came Out of the Sky. That's on Willie and the Poor Boys. I had the 8-track of Led Zeppelin 4. Yep, a lot of people had 8 tracks, but I bet that they had to cut Stairway to Heaven in half on the 8-track. The most famous song on the album, and they probably had to cut it in half. Program 1, Program 2, or Program 3, Program 4, whatever they did. Anyway. Sandy Denny, she was not in the Pentangle. No. Robert Plant, one of the best rock voices ever. You could be right, Lauren. Could be right. Here's a copy of Led Zeppelin 2 with the wheel that makes everything go round and round. And this one says manufactured under license issued by Atlantic Recording Corporation, Record Club of America. Still works perfectly. Yep. SD 7201, 1841 Broadway of Led Zeppelin 2. We'll get these in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. Anyway. Am I in New York City? Lauren, no, I'm from New York City, but I'm from Astoria. I'm from Jackson Heights, Queens. Was born on Long Island, but right now I'm in Pennsylvania. Yeah, for like the last, where are we? 2025, almost 10 years. No, that's incorrect. I got here in 2006. Yeah, almost 20 years. I'm in Pennsylvania. Yep, 20 years almost. Coming up. Oh, cool. Thanks. Here's an early Swan Song copy of Physical Graffiti. The cover had like glue on it, so it came out a little bit. But for the price I got it for, I'm not complaining. Here's the inner sleeve for it. Now, some people there was a gentleman, Michael Nolan. He's got a great channel on here. He has a channel called The Bottom Line, and his followers are called The Tribe, and I'm a member of that tribe. And he'd have topics on his page, on his channel, that said Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. This guy's a big Led Zeppelin fan. I mean, you could tell when you watch his videos. Is Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti as good as the Beatles' White Album? Now, I've listened to Physical Graffiti, and I've listened to it once all the way through. I would have to give it another listen, but I do think it's a good album, Physical Graffiti. It's a nice listen, I have to say. It's different. I'm glad I have the Zeppelin albums in my collection now. I mean, when I grew up, when I was in high school, that's all I ever heard was Led Zeppelin. I mean, when something is shoved down your throat, it's not really that much, you can't experience it for yourself. That's the thing. And it wasn't until many years later that I actually got into Led Zeppelin's music, because I like it and it's different. It's hard rock and roll, but it's really I think Physical Graffiti is a good album, but I mean, Physical Graffiti had songs left over from the Houses of the Holy. Again, I'm working against it. It has some tracks from houses that were left over from Houses of the Holy that were going to be on Houses of the Holy, and they were left for this album instead. Awesome songs: Trampled Underfoot, Down by the Seaside. Yes. And Physical Graffiti was released in 1975 and has a couple of songs that were leftovers. The Beatles' double album was from 1968. So you're talking 2 different decades, 7 years apart. 5 to 7 years apart, like I said, because a couple of these songs were left off of Houses of the Holy. You can't, to me, you can't compare the two, because it's apples and oranges. I mean, Led Zeppelin fans are probably going to could say it blows the White Album away. And, am I going to say the double Beatles album blows away Physical Graffiti? The albums were recorded under different circumstances too. The Beatles were very much under a lot of pressure during those sessions. As Paul said many times, they were under a lot of. You discovered Led Zeppelin because of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah. I just, what's funny is I discovered the song Miss Amanda Jones from the movie Some Kind of Wonderful. The Rolling Stones, Miss Amanda Jones, even though a different group of the Violent Femmes, I think, did that in the movie too, but it has nothing on the Rolling Stones version of Miss Amanda Jones. And I'm watching the movie and I'm hearing Miss Amanda Jones. He's ready to go out with Amanda Jones in the film. And I know I'm listening to it, and I said, this is not like a 70s Stone song. This is from the 60s, this song. But I don't have it. And I got to find out what album this is on. And I went to the CD place, Compact Disc Center, back in 1996, because I was asking everybody, I said, do you know what album Miss Amanda Jones is on? The song by the Rolling Stones. And I'm like, no, I only know it from Some Kind of Wonderful. And I'm like, okay. So I went into CD Center, and they had a computer there where you would just type in a song and it would come up with the picture of what album it was on. So I type in Miss Amanda Jones, and it came up with the Rolling Stones Between the Buttons album, which was recorded between 1966 and 1967. And depending on where you lived, it was United States or England, is when you got it. Is when you got it. It came out, I think, in January of 1967 in England and February of 1967 in the United States. And that's got such a great group of tracks on that. But that was recorded during some of the summer of '66, and into 1967, end of '66. But oh, thank you, Lauren. It's just because I'm very much a fan. That's why. And I don't like to call myself like a musicologist or anything like that, because there's so many different ways that you could be described as a musicologist. If I wanted to be registered as a musicologist, I would have to know like all different things about me, all different things. I mean, I know a lot about what music is, and I knew a lot about classical music in college. I took music history traditional first in college, but although I did a what do you call? I did uh, a speech about Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues, and a lot of people liked it because they were the first group to use an orchestra throughout the entire album that actually had orchestral interludes in between the rock and roll songs, in between Forever Afternoon Tuesday, between Nights in White Satin, between Peak Hour. Uh, that was a favorite album at the time. Still is, actually, Days of Future Past, especially in 5.1 surround sound. Yep, the Moody Blues. Yep. Nick has an amazing memory. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I got it. Don't Fence Me In, written for a picture called 42nd Street. The year was 1932. Boy, you are. Hey. Why must you always play da 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 before you? I'm trying to guess the song that you're playing. I gotta warm up. The $99,000 answer. The Honeymooners. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I just have a memory for it. I do. Uh, before the job I had now, the one that I had before, sometimes in our department we would do cartoon character voices, and one of my supervisors said to me, did you just watch that yesterday, or do you just remember it? I said, I just remember it. I mean, Saturday morning cartoons for me as a kid, while everybody else watched those shorts in movie theaters, and somebody I'm watching The Honeymooners with my dad at 11:30 at night. The best lineup on Channel 11. 11 o'clock, The Odd Couple. 11:30, The Honeymooners, and 12 o'clock, Star Trek. If I can make it past that time. Yeah, I miss it too, Bill. I really do. I really do too. Yep. I do too. Yeah, I think about you guys a lot. I think about the times. Yep. Yep. I really do. When I used to answer the phones up for customer service, I never did this, but I was think I could be sitting at Mr. Marshall's desk. Not Mr. Marshall. It wasn't Mr. Marshall. It was Mr. Monahan. Mr. Monahan's desk on The Honeymooners. Hello, Bill. With the phone in my hand and all that. That was always a trip. So yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that song up. It Came Out of the Sky, because I used to play Willie and the Poor Boys like 1,000 times. A funny story about It Came Out of the Sky is that I used to work in computers in the 1990s, mid 1990s, and I worked for a data center in Leonia, New Jersey. And there was one guy I was talking to, and he talked to me and said, "I have the album Willie and the Poor Boys." I'm like, oh, that's good. Yeah, because I got a tour, just got the CD, I got the 24 karat gold, collector's edition and all that. It sounds great and all of that. So one day I yelled over to John. I said, John, It Came Out of the Sky. And he looks at me and he says, it did? I said, yeah, it came out of the sky. He said, what are you talking about? I went over to him. I said, John, It Came Out of the Sky. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Willie and the Poor Boys. He says to me, when did that album come out? I said, 1969. He said, "Do you think I listened to that album in the past 10 years?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know. I don't know until you tell me." So, you know, yeah, yeah, great songs. My first 45 as a kid, my sister and my father surprised me with it when I was living in Queens as a 4-year-old, going on 5. Was "You're the First, the Last, My Everything" by Barry White. That was my first record, and I could never stop playing it. I always loved that single. Always loved it. Always loved it. Barry White was the man. He was the maestro. I mean, that one and "What Am I Gonna Do with You?" That was another big one. That was a favorite of mine. I have that single. I have a couple of his albums. I got one out, "Stone Gone," and it's got "You're the First, the Last, My Everything" on it. Yeah, "Can't Get Enough" is the name of the album that has that song on it. Yep, yep. That's the album that had that song on it. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. And it has the mellow mood, and then it goes into "You're the First, the Last, My Everything," and then it goes to "Mellow Mood Part 2." Um, so yeah, that's Uncle Paul. Here's the man himself. Good evening, Nick. Good evening, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. Of course, check him out on YouTube right here. Has excellent videos as always. Check this guy out. Like I said, no spoilers. You have to watch this guy's channel. You want pop culture? The man defines pop culture. Beatles, Hanna Barbera, anything, anything pop culture that's classic that you can name. He's got it. He's got it. He's the man right there. Thank you. Classic Yellow Submarine Items premieres Monday. Yeah, I saw the promo for it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know it said it premiered next week. Yeah. Yellow Submarine Items. The only well, like I showed you a couple of weeks ago about the Yellow Submarine figurines I have. Of course, I have the album on Apple and the DVD. I just have the regular DVD that came out. The one that came out later, the one with the album cover version of it, and in 5.1. 5.1, not Blu-ray, but 5.1. I have that. Um, but I was talking about this before. Oh, Uncle Paul, the topic tonight. I wanted to give you a heads up. The topic tonight is, being that it's Mental Health Month. Being that May is the Mental Health Month. What songs or albums do you find can make you feel great at any given moment, or just take you out of time, and just give you that moment where you really feel great hearing it, and it's always on your list, and that you can't get enough of. That always puts you in a great mood. Makes the sun come out when it's raining. That kind of thing. It could be anything. Albums, songs. What I was celebrating before you came in, which I'm glad you did. May 8th, 1970, which was yesterday, Let It Be was released on the Apple label. I watched the Cowsills today. All good, of course. Yep. Actually, I watched the Cowsills today. Great song. Always Smile. Yep. The Rain, the Park, and Other Things was always one of my favorites by them. The Rain, the Park, and Other Things. River Blue, which is the B side of that. I have Captain Sad and His Ship of Fools. I have the first album. Those two albums, I have the first album and that album I have autographed by some of the Cowsills. both of them. And I asked them about the guy that looks like a clown on the that's dressed as a clown on Captain Sand and his Ship of Fools. I said, "Is that your father?" He's like, "No, it was just some random guy that just dressed up like that and sat there and smiled." I'm like, "Okay, cool." They were very nice. I met them and they were very sweet. Yeah. Lauren Ferguson. Yeah, you remember the Cowsills. Yeah. Yeah. They were supposed to have the television show instead of the Partridge Family. That was what that now they were supposed to have the television show instead of the Partridge Family. The thing is, what's interesting about the Cowsills is that they have the live album, the Cowsills in concert, and the only thing that they did, it wasn't their song either, but the only thing that they did, I'm going to play "Let It Be" tomorrow. Yes, regarding Cowsills. Back to "Let It Be," I found my promo Apple Let It Be Cube today in storage, and I have it now hung up here in the Playhouse. All right, I got to see that then. Yeah, this is the original copy with the gatefold, like I showed before. Now, Uncle Paul, I've said this before, but you weren't here yet. Do you know the reason why this is a red Apple label and not a green one? Uncle Paul says hello to everybody. Everybody, Uncle Paul. Say hi to Uncle Paul, guys. Give him the Record Lover 1969 greeting. United Artists LP soundtrack. Ding, ding, ding. Survey said. Number one answer. Way to go, Uncle Paul. All right. Here's a reissue of it, Paul, that I bought a couple of years ago on Capitol Records in a shrink wrap. Yeah, I love the Red Apple. I do too. This is a Capitol reissue here in the shrink, and it's on the Rainbow label. That's what I think is so cool about this release, and it's on the Rainbow label, and it really sounds good too. The Rainbow label reissues really have great sound quality to them. I have Let It Be Like This, and I have Beatles 65 and Sergeant Pepper's like that as well. Did you get the picture disc just for fun? No, I'm not one for picture discs, even if it is for fun. I don't have any picture discs in my collection. None. But I like the reissue because it's got this great poster. I love it. And it's in such great shape, too. I keep them sealed. Yeah, I would too. Because you really don't play a picture disc anyway. I wouldn't. The reissue of Let It Be has the what was inside the gatefold on the LP sleeve. And all of it is in very nice condition. That is very nice. Yeah, it is. I was able to get this for $10 with the shrink wrap on. I mean, I've seen, well, not now, but I've seen sealed copies of the Apple label. The last one I saw was $20, and I probably should have picked it up, or it might have been 25, but I really didn't need to get it. I just didn't. I just didn't get it. It was, I'm not in the market always to buy Beatle records. I do always look at what they have when I go record hopping, but I'm always looking for other things too. Stuff that I didn't, that I don't, that I've yet to have in my collection. So, and I think Let It Be over the years has become, thanks. I think that Let It Be has become a favorite album ever since it's been released. I mean, I wasn't there for 1970, but my uncle was. And my uncle said to me, he was a kid when it came out in 1970. They were plentiful up to early 80s. There was a lawsuit over royalties. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. My uncle, his mom went to the store in 1970 when Let It Be came out and was able to pick up two copies, one for him and one for his brother, because they were so cheap, he said that day. He said they were like 2.99 a piece. And records at that point by 1970 were mostly in stereo, or everything was stereo mostly. And stereo, probably a regular price for a stereo record in 1970 is probably 4.99. But he said that they were cheap. They were on discount when they came out. So she was able to get them one for him and one for his brother. So yeah, Phil and Ronnie and the Dead Wax. Yep, with the little wine glass. And here's the Let It Be deluxe set I got for Christmas a couple of years back. I didn't know I was going to get this. I wasn't sure. But when it was offered to me as a Christmas gift, like on my list, I'm like, yeah, okay. I listened to the remix, and I like the remix, and I have yet to hear the 5-1, but I also have the Get Back book. And I bought the Get Back book, CD and vinyl versions. Yeah. I just have the CD versions. That's good enough for me. The version that was on Amazon, the Get Back book, was just the regular book. It did not have the movie cards inside. I bought the Target exclusive Get Back book with 4 movie cards inside of the Beatles during the Let It Be sessions. But I do like the remix. I do like the 2009 mix. I was saying that before you came in, Uncle Paul. I really like that mix too, the 2009. And of course, I love the 1970 album as well. And I think the Capitol album really sounds good. I mean, there's a lot of great fidelity on songs like I Dig a Pony. And the only thing is, they should have used the 5-minute plus of Dig It on there instead of the 50-second version. But it has its charm because that's the way it was originally released. I mean, my friend lent me his copy of Let It Be on 8-track when I was in high school. And I thought the 8-track sounded really good. I used to listen to that through headphones. And I thought that was good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was Walmart who had the fur cards. I bought it in Target. Think Beatles. That's where I got it. I didn't go to Walmart. I knew it was in Walmart. I had to pick up groceries one night in Target. And I said, am I going to get this book? Because I think it was cheaper. I think there. It was a Target exclusive. It had the 4 cards. And I bought it. I bought it there. Maybe it was a Target exclusive, but I bought it there. I have to say I bought it there. Maybe it was a Walmart exclusive too, but I did buy mine in Target. I know I did. I remember that night. Made the basket a little bit heavier, but I bought it anyway. Well, Uncle Paul, yeah, a lot of people over the years don't dismiss it now. It's a collection of very strong songs, and I like the way it's sequenced. I was telling my friends here before that when Abbey Road was released, September and October 1969, they went out with "The Love You Take is Equal to the Love You Make," but I've read different sources that said Lennon did not want the Beatles to go out like a bunch of angels or like a group of angels. He wanted them to go out with warts and all, and it was the way the Beatles kept their guard down. We're just human beings in the studio, and that's why they released that too. And John and George wanted Phil Spector to make an album out of the Get Back tapes. But on here is also the Glyn Johns version, which I like the Glyn Johns. I actually have the Peg Boy blue vinyl of the Get Back album, or it's just Let It Be with Don't Let Me Down and 9 other songs. I have that. And I like Phil's versions. Yeah, I do too. McCartney has probably made peace with The Long and Winding Road. They said that he did like some of that orchestration. Well, he liked the idea of there being orchestration on it, but I think that they just put it on without him hearing it first. See, now I'm hearing different things over the years. In the beginning, he didn't have a problem if somebody had asked him, if they had asked him, "Can we do this on Let It Be and can we do this on The Long and Winding Road?" He wouldn't have had a problem. But they said they never went to him first about it. So yeah, well, Abbey Road was changed regarding the side. Side one was going to be side two. Oh wow. Okay. Huh. Yeah, Here Comes the Sun would have been a good opener too, but also the medley was originally had a different format on side two. Yeah, I did hear the songs in the opposite order on side two. I've heard the alternate medley of the Abbey Road album, and I really it's not bad. I think it's good. Yes, the album would have ended with "I Want You." Yeah, imagine that if it just went shh, and that would have been the end. I don't know if you could have if you could have sequenced Abbey Road any better than it was, like The Sopranos. Oh yeah, like it ended like "Don't Stop Believing." Yeah, a lot of people thought that when "Don't Stop Believing." If any of my friends here remember the ending of the final of the series finale of The Sopranos when they're in the coffee shop or the restaurant, whatever it is, that they end on the last "Don't Stop" of "Don't Stop Believing," and people thought something was wrong with the television, and then you saw the credits, and then it was over. And I know a few people that wanted to kick their TVs in after that happened, but maybe a shocker to you guys. I never watched The Sopranos. I never did. My sister has the DVDs. I never watched that show. I never did. When somebody said to me, "Do you watch The Sopranos?" when it first came out, I had no idea what it was. I thought it was another Three Tenors kind of show. What the Dominguez, uh, Pavarotti. You know. Okay. Well, it's not only me. Okay. I never saw it either. Yeah, I never watched it. I was never into it because first of all, there's no such thing as the club bada bing. There is none. There is none, and that I think is doing a stereotype, of Italians, doing club bada bing. I'm not offended by it, but it's just like club bada bing. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Oh well, all right. Well, I guess I'm not shocking too many people here tonight, am I? I never saw one episode. It's Satin Dolls here in Lodi. Oh, is that what it's called? Is that what they use for the club bada bing with satin dot? Is it the same kind of thing though? Is it a well, no, I'm thinking of the Goodfellas Club, which is up here, which is a completely different club. All right. No, I never watched it. Hey, Nicole. Hey, everybody's here tonight. Well, we're getting there. How are you, Think Beatles? Hope everything's going okay. They have a huge bada bing sign. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I don't know what my favorite song or album is. I would say Linkin Park's new album is probably my favorite at the moment. They're making a deluxe version of that album too from zero. Yeah, Nicole. Yeah, definitely. Oh, they're making a deluxe version of that? Well, definitely I know you're going after that probably. Yeah. Hello, Mom. Yeah, I'm still on. Okay. Bye. Yeah, back to my what was my subject? What was I talking about? What's that, Uncle Paul? What? Oh, I'm. What's that? Very sweet. Or what? Did I talk to my mother on the phone? Oh yeah, that's mom. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take mom out on Sunday for Mother's Day. Mom's doing okay, Lauren. Thanks. Yep, she's doing very well. Yep, very well. She's doing very well. Thank you for asking. Yep. Yeah, we talk. Yeah, we talk every night, my mom and I. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great, Nicole, about the deluxe sets because Christmas time is full of deluxe sets, but I haven't gotten one in a while. There's a deluxe set I'm looking forward to listening to is the Who Sellout that I have. It's the CDs, but a couple of 45s are in it too. And I never really listened to that album. The only songs I know of for that are I Can See for Miles and Pictures of Lily. That's the only had to have a look 16th of May release from Zero Deluxe Edition. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that subject. That's the main subject. Yeah. Okay. You get so wrapped up with everybody, but yeah, yeah. Album songs that make you smile or happy. Well, my go-to album. Well, my favorite album, and I think the best by anybody is Revolver by the Beatles. But one that I do love to listen to is I showed some people before. Ram. Yeah, Ram is great, and I just got the deluxe two disc edition of Wildlife that I'm really looking forward to listening to. But I was telling the gang before about the Rascals' Peaceful World. This is a very underrated record. I mean, this is when the Rascals went to Columbia, and it was just Felix Cavalieri and Dino Danelli left from the original four, and they had other guys, other people on the sound. It was more like a rock R&B jazz feel, and this is a double album, and it's really got a lot of great stuff on it, from beginning to end. And it's really good, especially the song "Peaceful World." It's great for meditation. Excuse me, my God, I got my water here. Excuse me. Thank you. Ram Wildlife. I was so pleasantly surprised by Wildlife. I really was. I really was because when I got back into that record again, I was like, what was the problem with this album? I, I don't know. See, the thing is, oh yeah, well, mental health songs. I mean, one album that always brought me out of a funk was Pisces Aquarius Capricorn and Jones Limited by the Monkees, which I think is their best album, and a lot of people agree. Sometimes I think I'm the only one that thinks these things, and then you look them up online and say, "This is the best Monkees album. This is the best Beatles album. This is the best Rolling Stones." And when I was saying Revolver was the best Beatles album, I was watching. Then I put on like a top 10. I don't know, top albums. Deluxe copy of which album is coming out this year? Don't tell me Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones, because I don't care where I got to get. It's Pisces, Aquarius. Is it going to be that? Talk to me, Think Beatles. You got to talk to me. Avril Lavigne. Yeah, does she age? Hey, if you still got it. Oh man, was it coming on Christmas or is it going to come out? Well, because that came out in November of 1967. Oh man, if that's going to be if that's a deluxe set, I'm definitely getting a thing because when they did the deluxe monkey sets, okay, they only did a 2 disc collection of Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones. The mono mix, the stereo mix, and some bonus tracks. But the deluxe edition, now I'm going after it. I don't care what's in it, how much. If I got to eat peanut butter for 3 years, I'm getting that. That's a Christmas gift. I'm telling them right now. That's it because it's my favorite Monkees album, and then one of my favorite albums of all time. That's an album that just takes me out of my funk, especially the door into summer. Um, you know, Love is Only Sleeping, stuff like that. Um, oh, you know what? I just remembered it. Led Zeppelin 4. Bill, if you're here, Sandy Denny that she sings on the fourth Led Zeppelin album. She's sings on one of the tracks. She was from Fairport Convention. That was the name of her group. That was the group that she was from. Now I remember. Fairport Convention. That was the name of her group. And she's a guest on the Led Zeppelin on the fourth Led Zeppelin album. Well, Uncle Paul, if they're probably going to put that out, it's going to be the mono and the stereo, probably with 45s and everything else under the sun. I have more of the Monkees. That's the only deluxe set I have of this. Believe it or not, I never bought the head one. I never was like, oh my god, the deluxe sets are out. I got to buy these. And some guys just made it's coming out before the end of the year. Right. So the album was originally released in November 1967. So it's probably going to come out by Christmas. That's not if it's going to be handmade, probably, right? If it's going to be Rhino handmade, and that's the only place to get it, probably because they never made these things mainstream available. It's always going to be on. I don't care. I will go half with anybody and my family. I said I want to get this deluxe set. I have to listen to it because that is the. I tell you, some people did make copies of the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees deluxe set for me. They burned me a few of the CDs, and that album, the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkees, could have easily been a double album. If it was, it would have been a terrific record. If that was a double album, they wanted to make a double album of the Monkees Present, and it was supposed to be. Do I have any Monkees books? Do I have any Monkees books? God, do I? Uh, I don't. I had I'm a Believer by Mickey Dolenz, and I had the early edition, not the one that he updated. I had the early edition, and it was okay because I'm never one to read the quote unquote true story by autobiographies and stuff. You know, the deep crap. I'm not into that. I tell you something. What I do have. I found this, and I figured I had to pick it up off of the bargain bin in Barnes and Noble. The manufactured retail price on this book was $35. I got it for like 13. Led Zeppelin expanded edition, all the songs, all the albums. This is what you need to know. I have about 4, including Mickey's. Okay. All the songs, all the albums. This is what I want to know about Led Zeppelin. I know about Hammer of the. Can I plug episode 20 coming in mid-June? Original Monkees. Yeah, but I'll take half of the royalties, though, Uncle Paul. You know, you got to go through the middleman. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, definitely. Definitely check on Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse, guys. He's got a special one coming up on Monday. Yellow Submarine is the theme. So check it out Monday. He prepares all of this stuff ahead of time. I mean, God bless the man. I don't know how you guys do it like that. I'm just come on here and I improvise. That's the way it is, you know. But getting back to this book, this is what I want to know about Led Zeppelin. This is what matters to me, and it matters to me about every group and every artist. What was the music like, and what albums and what songs are out there? That's what I want to know. Because I remember in high school, people bringing in Hammer of the Gods about Led Zeppelin, and all the crap that was in that book, and all the crap that was in The Love You Make, and the Lives of John Lennon by Albert Goldman. Who cares really? You know, I mean, you're gonna have like 1,000 people out there that are gonna write about the Beatles, write about Zeppelin. They're all gonna have different opinions about what happened and what really happened. The only people that know what really happened are the groups themselves. And they're not going to tell you everything in the books anyway. I mean, I had the Beatles anthology book, I kept the DVDs, but they're only telling you, and probably this goes for every group or every artist, that they're only going to tell you what they want you to know. And some of the stuff they probably don't naturally remember. That could be it. When I went to a Beatles fest years ago, and I met Klaus Foreman, who hung out with the Beatles during the Hamburg days, or what they only remember. Right, you got it, Think Beatles, exactly. You're welcome, Uncle Paul, no problem. You keep making the videos, I'll keep watching them, and so will all my friends here. Yeah, they could be great or they could be dreadful, but I do like the 8 days a week touring years. I bought that, and I thought it was very good. I thought it was good. The only thing missing was the Shea Stadium 25-minute concert, which Ron Howard had the dumb idea to only put it in theater. Now, why? What was the problem to not put them on a bonus disc? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Ron Howard did. I mean, let's not even get into him because that's a whole other thing. I don't have anything by Oasis, Nicole. I know who they are. I know they were very influenced by the Beatles, though. And Wonderwall was probably, I would say, influenced by the soundtrack that George Harrison did called Wonderwall for a movie called Wonderwall. And I saw the movie Wonderwall, and it was a little weird, but I'm glad I was able to watch. You know, in that movie, for all of you fans out there or trivia fans, they originally wanted Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees to play the lead role in that film. And the film came out in 1968. They wanted Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees to do it because the Bee Gees were an early British rock band at that point, and they wanted him to be the lead. And it's of its time, the movie. I don't have it. I rented it, and it was okay. And the soundtrack is okay too. I have the soundtrack because I found it, and it was like the only thing I don't have is the original insert with George's face on it. It's okay. I mean, it's experimental. Peter Tork, I think, plays some banjo on it. Some of it he wound up not using, George. But like I'm saying, with books and movies, you know, I liked the anthology that they did for the Beatles. That's fine. I really like that. I really like that. I mean, and some of the books that I read, I mean, someone here have it here. Yeah. Fuck you. You're not falling. Sorry, guys. I cursed. Okay. Great Beatles books I can recommend. If only I could get Candy Lennon to visit me on here. Okay. Yeah, some people pan the 8 days a week. A friend of mine said I wouldn't buy that movie because there's nothing else. Yeah, it was supposed to be G-rated, Lauren. I'm sorry. Yeah, a bookcase completely almost came down, and I. So yeah, I should have said fudge, but I didn't say fudge. I apologize. That's on me, guys. you know, I am from New York, though. These things happen. A book to some great books to recommend: Beatleness by Candy Leonard. This book talks not only about the Beatles and the Netflix what? It had the Shea Stadium concert on it. My friend said that there's nothing he could have learned from the 8 Days a Week movie. Oh, the anthology? Oh, they're doing another anthology. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But this is a terrific book that she wrote. I mean, you could tell she's a big Beatles fan. She's been at Beatle Fests, Candy Leonard. And she actually showed Magical Mystery Tour at one of the shows. I wasn't there for it, but they did show the 54-minute film, probably with the bonus footage too, which I have on the DVD. But this is a terrific book, Beatleness, and I've been in touch with her about it. And it not only talks about the Beatles and the effect they had on pop culture, but what the fans thought, how the fans saw the music, how the fan heard the music, how they viewed the Beatles as people, as a group. It's just an amazing book. I've read it twice, and I think I could probably read it again. Okay, I'm going to leave Beatles 66. Great, because the Beatles 66 is like my favorite era. I go from 1964 to late 64 to 67. I love all of the Beatles music, but that's my favorite. That has got to be my favorite era right there. But this is the revolutionary year when the Beatles changed, and they started making what my mom's friend called new music. Well, I sort of rub a soul actually, but new music is what they called it. And it's a terrific book. This is a terrific book that I got as a gift, one Christmas season, and it's a terrific, absolutely wonderful. If you're a Beatles fan, you're gonna love this. And Beatleness, you're gonna love it. The Pièce de Résistance, Revolver, How the Beatles Reimagined Rock and Roll by Robert Rodriguez. I mean, look at the cover. It's an outtake from the back cover of Revolver. How they reimagined from 62 to 66 for me. Okay. Everybody's going to have a different era that they like. Magical Mystery Tour might have been a little bit too weird for people, but I think the more I listen to Magical Mystery Tour, the more I think it's. I'd see. I'm going to make a bold statement here. Okay, I might not be the only one that's going to make this bold statement, but Magical Mystery Tour has more of a psychedelic edge than Sgt. Pepper's ever will. Because you listen to Sgt. Pepper's, it has some elements of it, but it's not a psychedelic record. I never thought of Sgt. Pepper's as a psychedelic record. I never did. Pop rock, yes. New for its time, very much. Because I have a friend of mine who was there when the album came out, and he said oh, thanks, Paul. Yeah. That he didn't know, and they didn't really know Revolver was the first psychedelic album. Yeah, I would definitely give psychedelia with Revolver. I definitely would, especially Here, There, and Everywhere, and especially in mono Revolver. Definitely, because it's almost got like the phasing on it, And I would take the Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majesty's Request, over Sgt. Pepper's. as psychedelic, as psychedelia, because it truly is a psychedelic record. I think that is. I think that's a psychedelic record. I mean, all those great albums came out in 1967. You had Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones. There's Satanic Majesty's Request, Sergeant Pepper's Magical Mystery Tour. No, no, what? What's the matter, Think Beatles? What's the matter? Talk to me, man. What's going on? No, no, the Rolling Stones. No, no, I think so. I think that it is. I think John Lennon went on to say, of course, in his Rolling Stone interviews, which I didn't care for at all, because I always found him to be very bitter in the Rolling Stone interviews in the magazine. That he thought the Stones copied everything the Beatles did. I think that they were influenced by what they did. I mean, who wasn't influenced to go down their own road after Sergeant Pepper's came out? You know, some people took a concept album idea and went with it and were successful. Some I like, but mainstream they didn't do well. I mean, take for instance the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette by the Four Seasons. Okay, looked like a newspaper. It had like a mock Sunday comics thing in it. Genius marketing. I mean, let it be, then let it bleed. Okay. Oh yeah, well, yeah, but think Beatles, Let It Bleed came out before Let It Be. No. Let It Bleed was 1969 and Let It Be came out in 70. So, unless they knew the song before. So, because Let It Bleed was 1969. So, and technically so was Get Back and Let It Be. Actually, it was, but it wasn't released until May of 70, yesterday, actually. Yeah, What a Beatles Year. Penny Lane single, Pepper, Our World Show, Magic Mystery Tour film. Think Beatles. Yes, I'm sure. Let It Bleed came out in 1969. Yes. I mean, Let It Bleed, listen to the song. It's got nothing to do with Let It Be. It has nothing to do with they couldn't be two completely different songs. And being that this is a G-rated thing, a G-rated show, as Lauren Ferguson just reminded me, I won't relate what Let It Bleed's subject matter is, if you will. So, in fact, I'm too young to talk about it myself. You know, and I'm sure all of you are too. But then he also said about Beggar's Banquet that they stole the idea with the white cover. That they did the same thing to the White Album. Beggar's Banquet was not originally a white cover. They had to change that from the bathroom wall cover that they were going to use with the toilet seat open. So to be fair, the white cover that says RSVP in Beggar's Banquet was not the original cover. So they reissued the CD with that cover, and they reissued the album Beggar's Banquet again. I think did they? I think they did reissue it with the white one. I did. Yeah. No, I think Beatles. I am sure. Yeah. But see, that's unfair to say to the Stones because the original one was the bathroom with the toilet seat open and the graffiti written on the wall. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, what was it? Uncle Paul, Michael Cooper, that did this, that did the same thing, that did the same cover as he did with Sergeant Pepper's. He did the same thing with the Satanic Majesty's Request. It was the same concept. But I mean, the Satanic Majesty's cover is in 3D. You move it and the pictures move. I mean, okay. But the music couldn't be any different from the two albums. I mean, She's a Rainbow might have been not a knockoff, but I mean, it could have been something, influenced by Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But, they're two different albums to me. If I say, do I like that better than Sergeant Pepper's? I'm saying, apples and oranges. I can't say, oh, Sergeant Pepper's got that beat by a country mile. I'm not going to say that because you can't compare. You can't compare Pet Sounds to Rubber Soul. You can't compare Pet Sounds to Sergeant Pepper's. Beach Boys, or what if Smile had come out the way it was supposed to come out? You don't know. They released the Smile sessions. I have it. I think it's very good, but it still doesn't completely answer the question of what was it supposed to really sound like in 1967. That's just an idea of how it was supposed to sound. The Beach Boys Smile sessions, that is, not the Brian Wilson Presents Smile. I bought that and I thought it was okay. And then, but after that, I was like, once I learned that they added lyrics later on to it, or maybe they were the lyrics that were there that they used in the original sessions. Maybe they found them. I'm not sure, but I keep seeing different things on YouTube about Smile. But I do like Smiley Smile, even though that took me a little while to understand. I didn't dislike it, but over the years, I've been very I've been very fond of that record, Smiley Smile from the Beach Boys. I think the Beach Boys, not to go on a tangent, but I think the Beach Boys had such a great lineup of albums from 1967 to 1973. I mean, after Pet Sounds, you're figuring after that. From 1967 to 1973, they had 7 years of great music that is underrated, completely, criminally underrated. But let's get back to tonight's topic, though. I mean, I know we're going everywhere, but yeah, Brian Wilson, pure genius. Yeah, but he said in all humility, I read it. He said, "I'm not a genius. I'm just a hardworking guy." There you go. That was written. That was written in Heroes and Villains as part of one of the chapters. It says, "I'm not a genius. I'm just a hardworking guy." And Dennis Wilson said, "I think it was the drugs." Now, I could open up a can of worms with that and say, yeah, you could say that drugs, but I don't think drugs made those albums. I really don't. And even if the band members tell me they did, there's no way you can make a concept about how California started, like Smile was supposed to do, and talk about Manifest Destiny. I mean, that's just a genius topic to talk about. To go back to the early days of Americana and California, how it all started, as land, and then the gold rush, and then the American Indians, and then progress after that. How is that? How is that drugs? I don't think that that's drugs. I don't. Why does the music make sense to me if it's drugs? I don't get it. I know some people may disagree with me. They may agree with me. I don't think that drugs made you talent. Well, I've read it other places too. That those psychedelics that they took didn't make them any more talented than they were. I mean, you have the talent or you don't have it. They had innate talent, I think. I mean, even Ringo even said, he said, if we showed up in the studio stoned and we played music, or what they called music, he says it was just crap. He said we knew we had to do it all over again the next day. So what was the point of it? I mean, people want this psychedelic moment called Carnival of Light to be released from the Beatles vaults. Why? And people wanted it on the Sergeant Pepper's box set. I mean, it's them. It's all gibberish in the studio. I read that all it is Ringo saying, "I'm gonna fall over, I'm gonna fall over," and Mal Evans was ready to catch him at any given moment. I mean, okay, all right, okay, part of history. Okay, yeah, all right, I'll give it to you. Part of history. So was the 24-minute version of Helter Skelter, which we never got, but which they kept saying, is the box set going to have it? No, the box set doesn't have the 24-minute version of Helter Skelter. Are we ever going to get it? Probably, if Giles Martin has anything to say about it. But Giles Martin, I don't know. Giles Martin needed to make a 5-1 mix of Revolver, and he didn't. And I don't understand how we just could have. What I bought with the remix, I bought the 2-disc set with the remix and the bonus tracks and the remix album, the special edition with the vinyl mat inside that looks like the Revolver cover. I didn't go for the $120 box set. I didn't. And Revolver's my favorite album, and go figure. I just didn't wind up getting it. I got the Goat's Head Soup box set, which is behind me, you know, and that actually comes with a recipe on how to make goat's head soup. Crazy. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, if there's any other suggestions about, what's your favorite song that really makes you feel good, makes you happy, just keep coming, keep them coming. I'm really glad we did this tonight. I got Alley Cat, and then everybody came in after that. So I'll probably see Aaron and Andrew pretty soon too. Boy, do I miss watching Rangers hockey games though. Oh, now we got a new coach. Now we got Mark Sullivan. Let's see what happens. I'm just waiting for the season to start. I just on a tangent here. I don't feel disgusted about the season. Oh yeah, you're very welcome, Uncle Paul. You're very welcome. Don't forget Uncle Paul's Pop Playhouse, Beatles Pop Playhouse. That is this Monday. He's going to have a brand new episode. And Yellow Submarine is the film is the topic, and all kinds of goodies like that there. So my favorite song is "Shut Up and Dance" by Walk the Moon. I know about "Shut Up and Dance" by Walk the Moon. I think there's a video for that where there's these girls that play the flutes and these guys. Yeah, I think that I've seen the video of that. If I'm talking about the same thing, yeah, by Walk the Moon. That's it. I know what that is. Yep, I've seen it. I've seen it. Yep, I've seen it. I think that's the one we're talking about. I mean, a song for me that really's got a great upbeat that a lot of people made fun of was 500 miles by the I will walk 500 miles by the Proclaimers. I like it. I love it. I have the colored vinyl single. Alley Cat, if you've ever watched Family Guy, Peter does it's so funny. It's the episode where Stewie's cousin gets married, and Stewie says, "Ugh, this idiot is going to fit in with the family as badly as Peter fit in with the Proclaimers." And then you see him singing, "I will walk 500 miles." Yes, love the song, but I can't hear it without Peter on my mind. Yeah, I'm singing. I'm singing. Just knocks the guy down. Yeah, that's when Family Guy was fun to watch. Yeah, go on a tangent about what I think Seth MacFarlane wants that show to die so badly, but it's just not doing it. It just won't go. I mean, they went too far with Brian dying and then bringing him back. It was just like, I'm ashamed to say that Family Guy is the reason I know the song. There's no reason to be ashamed. It just makes the song better, I think. Yeah, I think no, that's the reason. Yeah, but the name of the group is the Proclaimers. Yeah, yeah, Scottish band, but it's good. And when he said when the lyrics go, "When I haver, well, you know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you." And I'm thinking, haver. What does haver mean? Does he mean when he says, "When I get drunk, I'll be the man who gets drunk next to you"? And when he says haver, when I haver, I thought he meant like haver, like like praying to the porcelain goddess, but it's not. Haver in Scottish means to talk to somebody. God, I was way off on that one. Okay. My favorite is when Peter said, "This is worse than the time I forgot how to sit down." And he goes up to the thing and he smashes right into the wall. Oh, when he drinks Red Bull, that's a funny one too. Oh, speaking of Red Bull, the episode where he's drinking, yeah, the cutaway gags were usually golden. Yeah, yeah. And when he's drinking Red Bull for the first time, then he's in the Madonna video, Ray of Light. You know, when Ray of Light came out, the album came out in 1998. The album, well, I don't think it was released on LP then, 98. Maybe it was. But I remember the deluxe CD set of that, and I remember the regular CD set. I like the song Ray of Light. I do. But I do not have that song on my collection by Madonna. Am I talking about The Bird is the Word? No, that's one of them. All right, Night Alley. Thanks for coming. Have a great night at work. Don't work too hard. And be careful, all right? Have a great Mother's Day weekend with your mom. Enjoy yourself. And best luck to your Devils next year. Yep. Maybe we'll be back visiting each other in the playoffs. Oh yeah, talking about the bird is the word. Yeah, well, a bird, bird, bird. Oh, have you not heard? It was my impression that everybody had heard. Heard what? Brian, don't. Oh man, yeah, yeah. That's one of them. Yeah, yeah. The bird is the word. And then he meets Jesus in the episode, and Jesus gives him the record back. Yeah, that's classic. That's also classic. That is great. That is great. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was saying "Ray of Light" by Madonna. That's another song that I don't have in my collection, but I like. The only record I have in my collection by Madonna is True Blue on the 45. And it's on blue vinyl, but that's the way it was originally released anyway. It wasn't like a collector's version or anything like that. But I thought that when I heard Ray of Light and I heard the album in the store when I was working in Coconuts at the time, I thought that that was a real Madonna album. It wasn't all, the other stuff that she was doing. I thought it was an album where she just sang and was a performer on it. No gimmicks, no, with the crosses on it, with the cross burning crosses in her videos, none of that crap. It was just Madonna singing on it. And that's what I liked about it. Unfortunately, I never had the song, but I might find the 45 of Ray of Light, but I do like the song. I mean, the lyric, I feel like I just got home. Well, yeah. How you supposed to feel when you just get home? Yeah, yeah. No, but that's another one that will lift my spirits. That's another one. Yeah, and one by the Human League. That's "Keep Feeling Fascination" is another one. When I was listening to 101.5, New Jersey 101.5, that I actually got up here for like 5 minutes before it all went to static. I heard it. Keep Feeling Fascination. Now, all I knew from Human League was "Don't You Want Me," and I knew they had other hits, but I all I knew was the Dare album and "Don't You Want Me." But Keep Feeling Fascination. When I first heard it, I didn't know. First of all, I was listening to 80s Night on New Jersey 101.5, and it sounded like Sly and the Family Stone in the beginning. I said, and that's who I thought it was. Maybe they were influenced by Sly and the Family Stone, like Dance to the Music. Maybe they were. I mean, the groups in the 1980s were very much influenced by the groups of maybe the 50s through the 70s. So that's another one. Keep Feeling Fascination by the Human League. I like that. I like that song. A great one. Um, well, Don't You Want Me is another one. And Dancing Queen by ABBA is another one that I like quite a bit. Take a Chance on Me is my favorite of theirs, which is always good times. I remember playing it of my dad playing the 8-track in the back of the car. I mean, the 8-track, hear it in the back of the car, an 8-track, because he had a 1980 Chrysler Baron with an 8-track deck in it. So I was hearing ABBA. I heard the Beach Boys. I heard Kiss on 8-track. I heard the swing era on 8-track. That's how I learned. That's how I learned Benny Goodman, and that's how I heard. And that's how I heard Glenn Miller. That's how I heard Glenn Miller. Was the swing era. Chattanooga Choo Choo by Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller. String of String of Pearls, String of Pearls. Pennsylvania 65000. Songs like that. I grew up hearing all kinds of stuff like that. All right, Lauren, what's your favorite ABBA song or album, if you have it? Oh God. What about Frank Sinatra? Yep. Well, I did remember hearing Frank Sinatra as a kid. Yeah. My grandmother had his 8-tracks and albums. Also, Jimmy Roselli. I remember hearing a lot as a kid too. My father had the albums, and my grandmother had the 8-tracks of Jimmy Roselli. She had this small little cabinet in her apartment, and you'd open up the door, and the 8-track deck would be in there, and the 8-tracks would be in the other doors. She had saloon songs by Jimmy Roselli. She had cycles by Frank Sinatra on 8-track. Okay, you don't have to pick one ABBA song if you don't want to. Um, Rock Me is another one I like. That's the B side of Fernando. I actually picked up on vinyl. I have ABBA, the album. I think I have Voulez-Vous on album, and I have a couple of the CDs with the bonus tracks on them. I have. Yeah, I have that stuff. Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, these boots are made for walking. Yeah, yeah. Nancy Sinatra. Yeah, yeah. It's a good song. I mean, but there's other songs that Nancy Sinatra does that I like. I have to say. Here you go, Bill. Bill. Hello. Waterloo. Yep, their first single. I remember seeing it on TV in Queens as a kid, 1974. My mom was telling me to watch TV. She goes, "Look, Nick, Waterloo, Waterloo," and I was watching because I was very much into music at 4 years old, and that was like their introduction to the United States. I think that probably they were just that might have been a news channel just showing the footage of them singing it. but I do remember that from 1974, Waterloo. Yeah, Waterloo is a good one. But the album, ABBA, the album is really good because it has a suite on the second side that has different songs in it, and one of them is "Thank You for the Music," and "I'm a Marionette" is the other part of it. "I'm a Marionette," I think, is the B side of "Take a Chance on Me," but it's part of that suite that's on ABBA the album. The name of the album is ABBA the album, and their faces look like zoo animals that are painted on the cover. But I thought ABBA was very talented. Speaking of which, the song from the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, "If I Can't Have You," by Yvonne Elliman, and also the Bee Gees did "If I Can't Have You." They did their own version of it. But Barry Gibb has said, "Would you believe that we wrote 'If I Can't Have You' for ABBA instead of Yvonne Elliman?" Originally, they wrote it for ABBA to sing. I really like ELO. I've been listening to Donna Summer, Olivia Newton-John, and Kid Lang. Oh, KD Lang. I'm sorry. KD Lang. Okay. Yeah. ELO, my favorite. I'll tell you something. My favorite ELO, I have most of their albums, most of the LPs I have. Couple singles and a couple of CDs I have. But I think that they did a great job on the Xanadu soundtrack with Olivia Newton-John. And I love that movie, Xanadu. I saw it 4 times when I was a kid. Or 3 times. No, 3 times. No, 4. I did see 4 times I saw that movie. It was it was 1980. It was I think it was Labor Day weekend. My sister and I went to see it. And then I saw it with my parents. And I have the video on. I have the movie on DVD. Actually, it was a two-parter. It was a combo package. It had the soundtrack from Xanadu on CD and the movie on DVD. Not a Blu-ray, but you know that should have gotten. Well, it did. I guess it did get a deluxe packaging with the CD. I mean, I got that for like maybe $10, $11, brand new. I got that. Oh yeah, you're not the only one. But I'll tell you something that a lot of that movie is maligned by quite a few people because that movie went through so many rewrites. They rewrote the script like 5, 6 times, and the finished product was not really what you were supposed to see. And Gene Kelly did his own roller skate in that picture, and he said he was not going to dance in that movie, but he did roller skate. If you watch him on the rink, he is skating. And when they did that um, production number of "Whenever You're Away from Me," Olivia Newton-John and Gene Kelly, the movie already wrapped up. They were already finished with the movie. But what they did was they filmed that after they filmed that production number after the film wrap, and they just inserted it into the picture. That was never originally supposed to be part of the movie. It was just something that they did, and he danced one last time, and then they just did it, and they put it in the film because they probably weren't. Gene Kelly was not going to convince them that I'm not gonna I'm not gonna dance in the movie at all. Just like it was on the Muppet Show. It was the final Muppet Show that was shown. No, not the final one that was shown. It was the final one that they did, and they had Gene Kelly on. They had Gene Kelly on, and he said, "Kermit, I bet you think I'm going to do Singing in the Rain. I bet you hoped I was going to sing that." He's like, "Well, no, not at all. Of course not, but yes." And then um, he starts playing it on the piano, and that whole thing. Da, 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 da. It has so many songs were attached to that, and he was kidding around with them and singing "These Bells Are Ringing for Me and My Gal." But finally, they got him to sing They finally got him to sing a little bit of Singing in the Rain because he did it so many times after the movie that it was everybody always told him to do it because that's what he was famous for. But he was an anchors away. I mean, he did the tap dance routine with Jerry the Mouse. I mean, Gene Kelly did other things. So, but he said, I'm not dancing in Xanadu. But he did one final thing. Yeah, I always liked that. Xanadu was, yeah. See, that's the thing is that on the DVD it has extra footage, and there were people that were talking about how they were models for the picture. Yeah, he's a good dancer, Lauren. Though Lauren, he really was. Yeah, but if you watch Singing in the Rain, Gene Kelly is a great dancer and a great performer. But if you watch Donald O'Connor in that same film, Donald O'Connor's having the time of his life. I mean, he's all over the place in that picture. You figure Gene Kelly was about 40 when he did that picture. And I think Donald O'Connor was like 26, 27 years old. So he was all over the place in that movie. But Gene Kelly, I mean, he was a great dancer. I mean, not a technical dancer, but he danced. And but he would. I mean, Donald O'Connor. If you watch him, he's like, well, he's having a great time. You could tell. Yeah, definitely watch that part of him doing make him laugh, or be a clown. I think is a production number. Watch that in that movie when they do Moses supposes. Moses supposes. Yeah, that production number with Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor. Yeah, definitely check that out. Yep. And what was really good is that Singing in the Rain was in real color, and that movie was 1952. Yeah, 1952, and that movie was in real Technicolor. Yeah, well, there was so much to see in that picture. That's probably why they didn't put it in color. And also, the best way to watch that film is the widescreen, not the pan and scan, because when you see the guys dancing near the garbage cans in the movies doing that thing, you could see the entire scene. If you watch the pan and scan, you only see part of it. That's why when you get the DVDs and they say widescreen format, you could see a heck of a lot more, even though you got the black bars on top and the bottom. I mean, widescreen, you could see everything that was meant to be in that scene. So, yeah, Gene Kelly's dancing was very good. Yeah, mesmerizing. Yeah, it was very good. I thought he was good. Yeah, Gene Kelly also directed Jackie Gleason in a 1960 film called Jigo, and Jackie Gleason played the lead role, and he played a deaf mute in that picture. And he was actually up for an award for that movie, but the movie Splendor in the Grass won instead. And that would have been completely ironic if Gleason had won for that because he said nothing in that movie. He didn't talk. Oh, think Beatles, you got it, man. Soldier in the Rain with Steve McQueen. I don't get many people talking about that picture. And if you watch it really closely, Adam West is in the beginning and at the end of that picture. He's like an MP in the beginning. Adam West in the beginning and at the end. And you got Tuesday Weld and Steve McQueen and Jackie Gleason. Yep. Oh yeah, Adam West looked for him in that picture. That's a very good picture. It's a very good character study. Very good picture. Yep. I've also seen Papa's Delicate Condition. I saw that one. Yeah, a great film. It really is. It's one of Jackie Gleason's best films that not many people talk about. But then, of course, there's 1968 Skidoo, which, my God, some people have called the worst film ever. But there's worse than that. Trust me. It's you know, not something that uh, it's usually on. We're going to the drive-in next weekend. We go every spring. What are you seeing, Lauren? Oh boy. Instead of showing today's crap, I wish they'd show the classics. Well, if you have Turner Classic Movies, they could show you the classics. And sometimes on Turner Classic Movies, they'll show you movies that'll throw you a curveball. Like they'll show you famous people in movies that are not ones that were really that commonly known or not that well known. There's a movie called Springtime in the Rockies from 1942 that I saw on Turner Classic. Oh, The Great Escape. Yeah. Yeah. Based on real events. Yep. Yep. Classic. There was a movie I saw called Springtime in the Rockies. It was from 1942. It was in real color. It had Betty Grable, Cesar Romero, who was the Joker in Batman, but he was also in a ton of other things before that. And Jackie Gleason has an uncredited role in Springtime in the Rockies. It was 1942. It was in color. It was on Turner Classic Movies, or at that point, it might have been American Movie Classics. Uh, and he was 26 years old in that movie, and it was in color, and he was thin. I mean, he just looked like a leading man in that picture, which is what Jackie Gleason wanted to be. He didn't want to be a comedian initially. He wanted to be a leading man in the movies. He wanted to be a Clark Gable. He wanted to be a Cary Grant type of guy, but or Jimmy Cagney, that kind of thing. But comedy just took off for him. So sometimes we see movies we're not that thrilled about just because we have fun going to the drive-in. Oh yeah, well that's good. That's good too. That's good too. Can I just say I've died 1,000 deaths over Gone with the Wind? You could say anything you want. I absolutely love it. Lauren, you and my mother would get along like you wouldn't know about Gone with the Wind. Okay? She loved that film. Loved it. Loved that film. That was her go-to film all the time. Was Gone with the Wind. Yeah, without a doubt. I have never seen the entire thing. I know the classic scenes of it, but I never saw the entire movie. But if you watch that film, I've seen different bits and pieces of it. George Reeves, who played Superman on TV, is in that movie. He plays one of the suitors in that picture, and in some of the dance scenes. It's George Reeves, the television Superman. He's in that film. If you look closely, and she hasn't read the book. She's seen the movie many times. I don't know how many times I can count. Probably on both my hands, my 2 feet, and every other organ that's inside my body. I mean, probably could have quoted the entire thing. I mean, you had a Hattie McDaniel in that picture. Did Hattie McDaniel win an Academy Award for that? How do you know this stuff, Nick? I didn't know that. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm on Earth. Well, at least I hope I'm making a good difference anyway. That's one of my hopes, is that I make a positive difference. How do I know this stuff? Yeah, no, look for it, Lauren. You'll see him. If you know who George Reeves is with the television Superman, that's him. Watch it. He's very young in that film. He didn't start Superman until 1952. So that's 13 years before Superman. Yeah, he's in it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Love you. Um, yeah, he's in that film. He is. I actually bought, maybe years ago, I bought my mother a stand of it was a facsimile of a movie stand of Gone with the Wind, like a lobby uh thing. Check it out. Definitely check it out. I did buy my mother like a deluxe collector's edition of Gone with the Wind. And my sister probably has it now. Um it had, I think, all like pictures inside, the plastic ones that you take out. It had that. It had a booklet. It was like the deluxe version of it. I think it was a deluxe version. I don't think it was DVD. I think it might have been VHS. Or could have been DVD. I'm not sure. It might have been DVD. I think Hattie McDaniel, yeah. I think she won the Academy Award for that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, definitely see that. And let me know when you see that, whether it's next week or whatever. You want to leave me a message in Discord. You could tell me. You could look for me on Facebook if you want, Lauren. I don't know if you're on Facebook or not, but I'm on there if I'm on any of the social media. I'm not really much on Instagram, even though I have an account. And Twitter, I have an account, but I'm hardly ever on that, if any time. But I am on Facebook. But you could always drop me a message on there and say, I saw it and it's him. But you gotta look for it. You gotta look for it because that's where he is. That's where you'll see him, is in that. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, Gone with the Wind, and a lot of people that are the same with the Wizard of Oz. It came out the same year in 1939. So even though Gone with the Wind was completely in complete full Technicolor, you had sepia tone in the beginning of Wizard of Oz, and then it was color after that. Yeah, you could try Discord in the general box, or you could go on Instagram. You could leave me a message there. You can. I do check Instagram, not every day, but if I see like a heart on something, then I look at it. You could leave me that Instagram if you want. That's fine. I'll see it. Yeah, I want to know what your thoughts are on that. Yeah, yeah. Wizard of Oz. Yeah, my sister and I used to watch that every Easter when it came on TV, and I still can't. We still could not be prepared for the witch's first appearance when she comes on the first time. It's like, oh my god, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And then it just comes out of nowhere. I was amazing. Well, we used to watch that on TV all the time. Yep. My sister is a Wizard of Oz historian. Wicked, you name it. She knows it. That's her thing. She knows it. Yeah, you could try the general box on Discord too. Like I said, you could do that if you want. That's fine. That's not a big deal. But yeah, Gone with the Wind was a movie that was way before its time. Now, did you know that the author of Gone with the Wind, how many times she was turned down with that book? She was turned down more times than you can count with that book. That was not a hit right away. We did the annual watching of Wizard of Oz. The flying monkeys were terrifying. Yeah, I was like not fond of those things either. It's like clowns. They're like the white faced clowns. I mean, I'm not scared of the Joker, but I'm like, he could be scary though, depending on which universe you watch Batman. The DC universe. I mean, even Cesar Romero in the 1960s show Batman was great as the Joker. I mean, I think Jack Nicholson did a great job. I think so. Yeah, the flying monkeys, my sister didn't like either. But she had a thing in her house that said, I've got flying monkeys, like a thing, a frame that said, I've got flying monkeys and I'm not afraid to use them. I mean, she is so into Wizard of Oz. Now there is a not a conspiracy, but there's a watchmojo.com on YouTube does top 10 theories that'll ruin your childhood. And that said, the Wizard of Oz, that the sequence where she goes to Oz isn't a dream, it's a real place. And I told my sister that. I said, "What do you think of that conspiracy? What do you think of that theory?" She's like, "No." She says, "Because you don't dream in color." I said, "I dream in color." I didn't know that either. I know at one point Margaret Mitchell threw the garment to a manuscript in the fire and her husband fished it out. No, yeah. Yeah, no. Because a lot of people turned down the manuscript. Many people turned that manuscript down. Yep. Same thing with Planet of the Apes. When Arthur P. Jacobs went to every studio with the original Planet of the Apes, they told him no. No. Yeah, top 10 theories that ruined your childhood, like about TV shows, about movies, that they think at the end of Grease, when they're floating up in the sky in the car, that that Sandy was dead the entire time. She actually drowned, like when they sing Summer Nights and they say saved a life, she nearly drowned. But they said that she actually did drown. He didn't save her in time. And the entire movie is what's going through her mind as she's drowning. It's a fever dream, the entire film. That's what she's seeing seconds before she drowns completely. I'm like, oh boy. I'm like that's like with the Wizard of Oz and starting the Dark Side of the Moon album at the same time as the Wizard of Oz. Is that the album that you start? No, The Wall. The Wall. Where's Dark Side of the Moon? No, Dark Side of the Moon, right? Yeah. You're supposed to start Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon right as the MGM lion roars. Damn, I better look that up because let me look that up real quick. I just want to be very, very sure about it because I want my credibility to be credible on here. Yeah, it is. Dark Side of the Moon. Okay, thanks, Bill. That's what I thought. I think people are thinking that theory. Some people got too much time on their hands. But I mean, hey, if they say, all right. But I got a theory. Planet of the Apes, all monkeys, no thanks. Yeah, I didn't realize that the car was floating in the air until later on when I saw it too, when I got older. Yeah, it is Dark Side, Bill. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was the wall. All right. But I'll tell you what a theory that I have is there's been so many different theories about The Shining, the 1980 film with Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. There's so many theories about who opened up the door when Jack's character, Jack, is Jack Torrance. Who opens the door for him when Wendy locks him in the freezer? And some say it's Danny that let him out, or it was actually the ghosts that let him out. I had a theory that's maybe far fetched, but you know how he's frozen to death in the maze at the end. Maybe he never made it out of. Maybe he never made it out of the pantry. Maybe he froze to death really in there. Oh, they're sailing away into their future. All right. Okay, that's a good answer. Never thought of it that way. Yeah. Oh, Lauren, you got to see the original Planet of the Apes. That's a classic. The second one, the sequel, is kind of hard to say, but I think the best of the first two, Planet of the Apes and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. They're not monkeys; they're apes. It's a different story. Yeah, top 10 theories of what yeah, ruined your childhood. Yeah, yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, yeah. There's so many different theories. See, I thought that The Shining could have ended like that. But there's a whole 2 hour plus documentary about The Shining and what everything symbolizes in it. The name of the documentary is called Room 237, named after the room in the hotel. And oh my God, what these people. Yes, he told everybody to treat Shelley Duvall mean in a mean way because he wanted that reaction like she gave in the movie. That scene where he yells, "Here's Johnny," and she screams. She's really screaming at that point because she did 120 something takes of that same scene. Yep. All right. Monkeys, apes, tomato, tomato. You're right. Yeah, you got me there. All right. Well, originally the movie was supposed to be called. Well, it was based on a book by Pierre Boulle, a French novelist. It was called Les Planètes des Singes, and in English that meant Monkey Planet. So yeah. So really, that's it. Yeah, he treated all of every. He told everybody to ignore Shelley Duvall, treat her like crap, don't talk to her nicely, the whole 9 yards. But then after a while, I saw an interview like maybe about a year or so after that, where she said, "I'm glad I did it." She said, "I got to like Kubrick over the years after that because he brought out the best in me," is what she said. And then she did Fairy Tale Theater on HBO, which I thought was really good. Where she had all of these famous people doing roles of like Cinderella, um, all the other fairy tales, Pinocchio, and all that jazz. I don't know if anybody remembers Fairy Tale Theater. It ran, I think, for 2 years. I think 85 to 87, maybe. but it was good. It was really good. Devotion to craft. Shelley appears nervous and unsure of herself in the film, like a woman whose confidence is shaky. Yeah, well, he made it that way. That's how he got the performance he wanted. Yeah, you'd be surprised what directors do to get authenticity in their pictures. You'd be surprised. You really would. She was in Popeye with Robin Williams too. She was Olive Oyl. So that's what's really cool about that. I never saw Popeye though. Harry Nilsson did the music for that. Um, Harry Nilsson of Without You fame. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was known to do some crazy things in his films, like Doctor Strange Love or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, where Peter Sellers plays like six guys in it, with George C. Scott. Then you had uh, Lolita that he did. Uh, Lolita was also with Peter Sellers and James Mason. Sue Lyon played Lolita. Uh, what else was Stanley Kubrick? Clockwork Orange. Yeah, Popeye I never saw. I've always stuck to the cartoon. I never saw Robin Williams as Popeye. But Shelley Duvall was a great actress, though. I thought she was great. Very talented person. I mean, if you haven't seen A Clockwork Orange, if you watch it once and you never watch it again, that's a success. Because I've only watched scenes from it now. I watched it on VHS once all the way through. I didn't think it was disturbing when I watched it in 1996, but it upset a lot of people when it came out in 1971. So, oh, there's a lot of tough scenes though. I look at it later on now, and I'm like, yeah, that was pretty intense. It upset a hell of a lot of people. The one, Clockwork, but Malcolm McDowell was great. He was another one. He was in what do you call the other one where he's in Long Ago Tomorrow was the name of the film over here. It was called that in America. It was called something else in England, something about the moon in England. And him, he's handicapped, and he finds another girl who's also handicapped in a wheelchair. They're both wheelchair bound, and they have a romance. But I never saw the whole thing. But a lot of some people's favorite movie with him in it is Long Ago Tomorrow. They say both Williams and Duvall gave good performances in Popeye. I think they did. I saw Clockwork Orange. I was in high school. I thought it was disturbing. Yeah, yeah. And what's I don't get this at all, but my cousin had to read the book in seventh grade, A Clockwork Orange. I mean, okay, you're trying to make us into model citizens, but I think that that's going a little bit too far. I do. Watching that movie or reading that book. But see, the book has a positive ending. The positive ending in the book of Clockwork Orange is he becomes a policeman at the end. Or there's another ending that was he knows he's a violent guy, but he knows he's going to grow out of it and he's going to be a family man, get a regular job. He just thinks it's just a phase he's going through, that he's eventually going to come out of it. No, I wouldn't kid you. Me? Have I lied to you before tonight? I'm not going to start now. No, that's it. No, that's the way the book ended. some of the endings, I thought one ending was they didn't follow the book all the way through in Clockwork. Clockwork, he says at the end when he has the vision, when he's in the hospital and he's quote unquote cured, he's cured, but he's back to the way he was. He wasn't like a model citizen that they tried to make him into and brainwash him and all that. He's unbrainwashed at the end. And he just goes and he thinks about, in the end, he's like doing something erotic with a girl in the snow and people just standing around and clapping. That's the end of the film. But in the book, he turns over a new leaf for real and becomes a cop and, and has a family. That's how the book ended. But Kubrick didn't want that, apparently. So, but there's like this box set of Kubrick films. And I think one of them is Lolita. Another one is Clockwork. No, in the 7th grade. I'm serious. Yes. My cousin had to read that. But maybe the book wasn't as graphic as Kubrick made it out to be. Because Kubrick went in a completely different direction with The Shining. Stephen King has gone on to say that he still doesn't like the movie. Hated it, in fact. But they did get together on the phone and they did speak to each other kindly about things, but they just did not agree about the movie, The Shining versus the book. And the television version was terrible, I heard. That King did his own thing. And it was just not. I mean, The Shining also, the movie, had an alternate ending, but only in the first weekend that it came out in New York and in Los Angeles. When it first opened up in New York, when I first saw The Shining, it was on HBO. With my sister, I watched it with her. We had a finished basement in our house in Bricktown, New Jersey, and we watched movies down there. And we watched it, and it was scary. And we kind of understood at the end, oh, that was Full Metal Jacket that he did. Yeah, Full Metal Jacket, I think, is in that box set of Kubrick films. Yeah. Full Metal Jacket, that's it. Yep. Yeah. I've known people that can't go wrong with the classic Pink Panthers with Peter Sellers. All great movies, honestly, apart from the remake. Yeah, Nicole, I did see pieces of the remake, and Steve Martin does not do that part justice that Peter Sellers did. Peter Sellers was Inspector Clouseau, Chief Inspector Clouseau. But that was the best when he was in it. I have all of the movies on DVD that he was in. Yep. Peter O'Toole and Dudley. Don't you mean Peter Cook and Dudley Moore? Not Peter O'Toole. Are you thinking of Peter Cook, Lauren? Because Peter Cook and Dudley Moore used to be a comedy team in England. They had a TV show called Not Only, but Also in England. It was shown on the BBC. And some of the parts you can see here on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, they were in the original Bedazzled, the movie that Elizabeth Hurley was in as the devil. Yeah. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore in the original Bedazzled. Peter Cook played the devil, and Dudley Moore played, the hapless person who sells his soul. Um, but I know the name of the guy that's with Elizabeth Hurley in the remake of Bedazzled. Yeah, the original was 1967. Bedazzled with Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Which have you seen? You mean some of Bedazzled you've seen, or some of the TV show that they did? Oh, you like both of them? Oh yeah, yeah. The second one was good too. I thought Elizabeth Hurley played a good devil in that picture. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. That's the guy I'm thinking of. Yep, Brendan Fraser. Great times. Excuse me. Sorry. Great, great, great. Yeah, it's a good remake. You know what I didn't know was a remake was Sweet November with Keanu Reeves and Charlize Theron. That was a remake of a 1970s picture with Anthony Newley and Sandy Dennis. Yeah, yeah. Sweet November. The remake was nicer than the original. I've heard. I never saw the original. I didn't know Sweet November was a remake. I had no idea. But that's a good movie. The one with Charlize Theron. Yeah, Bedazzled was good. Yeah, I like that film. Yeah, yeah. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore were a good team. Yeah. The TV show not only, but also if you could look it up, it's good. Yep. Good pictures. Good movies. Yep. Oh, and it's so sad how Dudley died. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He was great in Arthur. Arthur was a great picture that he was in. Crazy People was another one where he played the advertising agent. At the advertising agent. That was a good film. Yep. But he was also a musician. Yeah, musician, piano player, violin player. He was in Unfaithfully Yours, which is a remake. He was in that. Yeah, he was a good actor though. 10, he was in with Bo Derek. Yeah, Nicole, he was only 54. Yeah, he was born in 1925 and he died in 1980. Yeah. Nicole, did you ever see the movie Being There? That was his last film. Where he's the gardener. That was a good film. Being There. Oh, but Nicole, he had a lot of heart problems though. Even in his early years, he did. Even in his early years, he didn't have a good heart. He just never paid attention. That was the thing. He just lived life in the he lived life in the fast lane so much. He did so many films, Peter Sellers. Yeah, give it a watch, Nicole. It's a good film. He plays a great character in it. Yeah. You watch this, you don't think of him as Inspector Clouseau. But he was in movies way before the Pink Panther. There's a great movie he did called The Mouse That Roared, and it was a comedy. It came out in 1959, and it was really good. But he was part of a comedy troupe called The Goons, which was Peter Cook, Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan. The worst movie you've seen is Evita with Madonna. Well, I never saw it. I did see bits and pieces of it. I was in a coffee shop and somebody had it on the movie. The entire movie is sung, and I was like, my my sister and my mother went to see the original Evita on Broadway with Cheetah Rivera. When they asked Cheetah Rivera what she thought about Madonna being in Evita, she was like, don't even go there," is what she said. Don't get me. Her real words were, "Don't get me started." When she said she found out Madonna was in it, was in the movie. Yeah, Nicole, was ashamed that we lost Peter Sellers at such a young age. Yeah, I mean, but if you ever watched him at the end when he was on talk shows and things like that, he was thin. I mean, he lost a ton of weight after all of that. After all that he did. Yeah, it's a big music video with him, Madonna hamming it up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, John Candy was another one, Live Life in the Fast Lane. Him and the other one. Chris Farley was another one, Live Life in the Fast Lane. John Candy was a funny guy, though. Great in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah. 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 It was good. They originally wanted John Candy to be Shrek. No kidding. They wanted John Candy to be the voice of Shrek. But I think if they would have auditioned John Candy and they would have auditioned Mike Myers, I think Mike Myers would have won the part anyway. Because I can't see anybody else being Shrek but Mike Myers. Yeah, you can't imagine it. Yeah, I know. Yep. John Candy was supposed to be Shrek. That's right. Yeah. And Buddy Ebsen was supposed to be the Tin Man in what do you call it? And Wizard of Oz. Michael McLean was in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. I'm literally watching a series. He's in. He plays Chuck in Better Call Saul. Right. Are you talking about Michael McLean from Laverne and Shirley? It was Mike Myers' idea to make Shrek Scottish. Yeah, I guess. Eddie Murphy as Donkey is always going to. He was great as him. Cameron Diaz was great as the princess and as Princess Fiona. Yeah. That Michael McKean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was in Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. And Laverne and Shirley. John Lithgow, Lord Farquaad. Yeah. Yeah. Easy there, Donkey. Yeah, Shrek was a classic. I saw all of them. I saw the last movie I actually saw in a movie theater was Shrek Forever After. And that was at a local theater near my house, which is no longer there, near where I live now. It was such an old fashioned theater that I had $10 last night, and that included everything: the movie, the popcorn, and the soda. Of course, I brought in my own Raisinets, but um, what happened was in the film, in the theater, when you look at the screen, and before the movie starts, the screen has the message, please turn off your cell phones. It didn't happen that way. A woman came out and said, we're going to start the show in about 2 minutes, so please turn off your cell phones. There was a curtain there. I mean, it was an old fashioned theater. The curtain opened up, and then you saw the movie screen. I mean, I remember that growing up, seeing that kind of stuff. Oh, goodness. 10:33. Do you know where your children are? Oh boy. Well, guys, I think it's 10:35. We've been on for almost 3 hours, and I had a great time tonight. But I got to wrap it up. I want to get myself a good night's sleep. Got some stuff to do tomorrow. Sunday is Mother's Day, and that's what the weekend's going to be for me. And I hope I'm very happy that all of us came together tonight and talked about our favorite music and what helps us feel better. And I'll tell you, just being with friends tonight just always makes me feel great. And I really appreciate everybody being here tonight and sharing this tonight with me. Lauren and Nicole, Alley Cat, and Bill, and Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse, and Billy, Billy Stokes, and Think Beatles tonight. All you guys. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. I will have a great day with my mom. She's going to be with my sister tomorrow night, and I'm going to be going out with her on Sunday. We're going to go over to the Williams Family Restaurant, have ourselves a good breakfast and brunch. That's probably one of the best restaurants there are in Easton, Pennsylvania. That's the best, to go get whatever you want in that place. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, those 3 hours flew by. Have a great weekend. Wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. You're very welcome, Lauren. Don't forget about the Wizard of Oz. Okay, I'm not the Wizard of Oz. Gone with the Wind, and I'll tell my mom about it. Okay, and then I'll get back to you about that too. Take care, Nick. We went down the movie rabbit hole. Never stops. No, you're right. It never does. I mean, we played 6 steps to everybody tonight. But I'm so glad everybody enjoyed it tonight. Thanks for being here, guys. So we made it to 3 hours. 3 hours, 1 minute, and 30 seconds. Good night, Nicole. Thanks for showing up. Good night, everybody. Peace. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it. William Shakespeare. Good night, everybody.